Welcome back to NPD Defined this week as we go through Narcissistic Personality Disorder. We're going to be diving into the 9 diagnostic traits. If you've missed some of the videos we've done so far, we've talked about traits 1 through 4 and also some myths and some misconceptions about misdiagnosing or multiple diagnosing in the very first video. Today we're diving into number 5. Now again, these are not made to give you the power to diagnose someone. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you figured out if he's a narcissist or not. What you need to understand is how is he actually showing up honest, vulnerable, showing consistent change, showing actual love and respect to you. If you're in a toxic relationship and you need help getting out, I want to help you. Go to rawmotivations.com today so I can actually move forward with you to break you free from narcissistic personality disorder. The reason why I speak so much on this is it's been very evident in my life from being a narcissist and showing up this way for multiple years of the hurt and abuse that I caused in multiple relationships that now we're trying to help people actually break free so that they don't get stuck in these type of relationships. They don't get their mind screwed up by being with a toxic individual. So if I can help with that, rawmotivations.com. All right, so when we talk through narcissistic personality disorder, we're diving into number 5 today. Have you ever encountered someone who believes that the world owes them special treatment, that the world revolves around them and should serve them? We've danced around this a little bit already, but we're talking about how narcissists are entitled. So let's read it from the DSM-5 and we'll jump in. Number 5, has a sense of entitlement, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with his or her expectations. Now, when a narcissist is in this place of entitlement, it's like, hey, I expect something from you. I expect the world. I expect your admiration. I expect your praise. I expect the sex. I expect something. Okay, but it's this idea of like, hey, I expect something and I should get it. It's almost like this concept of the world owes them something, like something is required or something is given because of how amazing they are, of how the fantasies are there, of how the grandiose piece is there. But like, hey, you owe me. So narcissists develop this piece of entitlement that makes them feel superior to other people, but really is this aspect of like, hey, everyone needs to give me something. Narcissists walk through a life with a sense of entitlement, expecting you to cater to his needs and desires and ideas and thoughts and feelings and anything that he has, but without question. This is a piece that you need to understand. A narcissist wants you to cater to them, but not question it. Of like, I want you to do what I want you to do, but don't you dare question me, because if you question me, you might actually expose some of the stuff that I have inside. You might actually expose some of the reason I'm doing this. You might actually expose me. Don't want that, can't deal with that, so don't question me, just do what I want you to do. That's the thought process, okay? Now, it goes a little bit more in the DSM-5. It says this unreasonable expectations. It's putting these expectations on you that are completely out there, that are like way more than you could possibly do, or way more than what you should do. Like that it doesn't even make sense for you to do. Okay, but these unreasonable expectations oftentimes are, hey, I need this treatment. I need to look this way, act this way, or be this way around you. You need to look this way around me. You need to act this way around me. You need to show up this way. Like, I can't believe you said something that wasn't respectful to me. How could you do that in public? Like, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you showed up in that dress. I can't believe you showed up wearing that today. I can't believe you did this at this party. Like, I can't believe, and all of a sudden it's like, you start to realize, like, wait a second, this seems really out there. But a narcissist will manipulate you really well to make you feel like it's your fault for you not doing something for him. Okay? Now, oftentimes it's this aspect first of like favorable treatment. If it has to look good, feel good, be good, show good, whatever it might be. But oftentimes it's also this piece of automatic. And it mentions really quick, it says automatic compliance. And you can see this in the aspect of like, hey, did you do it immediately? Now, immediately being like, hey, this is what I want. Why aren't you doing it now? Why aren't you going about and getting me what I want? Why isn't this happening? You're going to see this even in the aspect of texting. And of interacting with this person early on, oftentimes you'll feel like, oh man, it was so amazing. We're engaged, absolutely in love. We communicate all the time, but he gets a little needy whenever I don't respond right away, like when I'm at work. That's because there's a piece of entitlement. Like he doesn't view your work as being a good enough excuse to not respond to him instantly. You're like, oh, I was busy, I was in a meeting. Like, he doesn't really care. He doesn't care about your meeting. What he cares about is that you didn't treat him like the best thing ever, like the world. And so you actually put something in front of him. He's like, whoa, like I'm entitled. Like you should give me what I want. Now, you're going to see this inside of relationships, oftentimes of a narcissist moving from relationship to relationship. And the illustration goes of a narcissist with you for a period of time, decides, you're not cutting it for now, and takes you and puts you up on a shelf. Now, when he puts you up on the shelf, the entitlement piece is like, hey, I can come back to you anytime I want, and you're there to be able to serve me. I can come back anytime you want, and I get what I want out of you. So a lot of times narcissists have many people up on shelves that they can pull down at any time. Hoover this person, contact this person, re-engage with this ex, and all of a sudden they have all this supply from different people, and they're getting this admiration, this attention from people, making them feel better about themselves. But in reality, all it is like, hey, I'm entitled to you. You're going to see this inside of the relationship where he feels like he's entitled to all of you, where he's entitled to your body. And this is where you walk into marital coercion, marital rape, where you start being in a place where he feels like everything that you have is his, and oftentimes will use different scripture, different religious organizations, different mantras, different ideas in life to be able to say, hey, you are mine. Now, the problem is it's not romantic, it's not fun, and it's not engaging at that point, but it is just coercion, where someone is forcing you to do something that you don't want to do and expecting you to enjoy it, expecting you to look the certain way, to act a certain way, because this is what they want. Narcissists feel like they're entitled to you, to everything. Narcissists are entitled to your money, and they're entitled to almost everything in your life. What is his, and what's yours is his. There's not going to be this stipulation of this difference. He just views it as like, hey, I'm entitled to the things I'm entitled to. This is why he's been a bum in your house for a period of time. Like he hasn't got a job, he hasn't worked on it, and he's still there and you're paying for everything. This is why he basically garnishes your paycheck and you work and he takes your money and he spends most of your money because he doesn't actually view it as being your money. He views it as being his. Narcissist doesn't care about you and doesn't care about your money, your finances, your body, all these things. He cares about himself in the moment of like, what do I want? Oftentimes, a narcissist believes that they deserve special treatment. And when that doesn't happen, oftentimes it's going to turn out badly. Maybe that reality doesn't match up to his inflated expectations. And so he resorts to anger, frustration, manipulation, all of these different things that happen to be able to get you to conform to what he wants you to do. Have you had this where he expected you to do something, he asked you to do something and you didn't, or it didn't show up the way that he wanted it, and he get rage? You just get all this rage, he throws all this stuff at you because he's like, you didn't do what I wanted you to do. Think about this. You've got a narcissist who oftentimes expects you to prioritize his needs, his wishes, his opinions, his desires. Financially, mentally, emotionally, sexually, it's all about him. You don't have an opportunity to have an opinion, to have a feeling, to have an idea, to have a thought, because all of those get belittled, get put down, get manipulated away because it's all about him. He believes that you should constantly dote on him, that you should constantly fulfill every whim, every desire, and never question. You have to remember, this is part of it. Like, never question his authority. Okay, but when you actually open up and you're like, hey, I have my own needs, I have my own desires, like this isn't working, he's going oftentimes to beat you down, mentally, emotionally, or physically, to make sure that you don't show up again with that aspect that breaches his entitlement. You owe me, so like if you're coming back at me, whoa, we have to put that down. We have to quench that, get rid of that, knock that down so that you feel less than, so that he feels better about himself, and you don't come back exposing the fact that it's a facade, that he feels entitled, but in reality, there's no reason why he should be, because he hasn't done anything that's deserving of love or respect, because he actually hasn't shown up in a healthy way at all. So I need you to understand, like when you express your needs and your thoughts and he shows up with anger and accuses you of not caring enough, accusing you of being self-centered, accusing you of all this stuff. But when you actually take a look at the facts, he's the one that's getting everything. You're serving him. Nothing you're allowed to even do. You're not allowed to take care of yourself. You're not allowed to go out. You're not allowed to work on you. Everything revolves around him. If you're in that type of relationship, it's toxic. You need to get out. You need to be careful. If we can help you with that, please go to rawmotivations.com, because it's important for you to understand this whole aspect of entitlement. Understanding narcissistic personality disorder, entitlement, all the different pieces that we're touching on is not enough to break you free. I wish it was, but it is not. We see too many people that are fully educated in all this and they still are stuck because there's a disconnect between the head and the heart. If you're stuck with one of these disconnects today, I want you to reach out, because we work on connecting that for you so you can actually liberate yourself from toxicity and be free. Go to rawmotivations.com today. You can click on the one-on-ones if you want to have a talk with me personally, or you can jump into one of our challenges. Our 7-day challenge starts to build awareness and understand how you can actually be free. Our 45-day challenge specifically goes in and helps you break the trauma bond and deal with the triggers that are happening on a day-to-day basis. Ultimately, the main goal is to help you be free and to rise up into the person you're called to be. This is number 5 of the 9 diagnostic traits. Stick around for the 6th one coming up next.